Hello, and welcome to Iacon Underground Radio for Halloween Week 2019. This is Jen.
And David. Spooky.
I actually, we will get to, first we are going to discuss some exciting, maybe shrug news that came out of a big convention in London this week, and then I am going to talk lots about TFCon. But I do want to mention up front on that subject that one of the things I picked up at TFCon was a loose Japanese version of the recent Mind Wipe, specifically because it's Halloween season and he's spooky. It's like, ooh, a bat. That's right, there's this bat. He is seasonally appropriate. I have too much money, I will buy him. I have been to TFCon. It was super exciting and fun, and I return with a little bit of third-party news and lots of observations about the current state of the fandom and also the toy market. But first, we have some other stuff to discuss. So let's get through that real quick. One of the things that we talked about, that was from New York Comic Con, was that they didn't seem to have any studio series. But
yeah, we did say that.
I guess they were just saving them for later conventions, because MCM London, they did have some studio series stuff to show up. I guess more of the Devastator. Again, neither of us are particularly excited about movie toys, so it's not something that we are going to now proceed to spend a bunch of time talking about.
No, but it's neat because they finally had the Devastator, a combined version, although some parts were in like weird blue prototype colors. They hadn't finished the last parts, but hey, you can finally get them all together eventually at some point out of like many toys to combine. Oh, God, he's so expensive for a combiner, but
they should have.
He looks neat if you love the movie toys, but
they should have trolled everyone by by making the test shot in Constructicon yellow and purple.
Yeah, in the neon, the green yellow something, it would have been neater.
Also, there were already people jokingly asking at TFCon when we would get the third-party upgrade kit simply called Enemy Scrotum.
Yeah, that was like the second picture I saw of that, somebody had drawn on like the completed details of the wrecking ball testicles.
See, this is the problem. It's like when I was talking about that Revoltech Optimus Prime I got. It's like every cool thing that comes out of the movie stuff is actually primarily associated with some super stupid and embarrassing thing that actually happened in the movie. So it's like, it's great that this is very cool, but what it's actually, like, the actual movie was not great. So yeah, that's exciting for people who wanted studio series to be continuing, so good job there. Also, there were some more BotBots. BotBots is continuing. I am glad that there continue to not be too many poop-themed BotBots, considering the current state of that entire, like, blind package children's toys market. Which me and some of my friends have realized, just go in that aisle at some point, especially the girly stuff for some reason, and just look at it and then look closer and see that it's actually what you think it is saying it is.
Yeah, the unicorn poop and things, that's starting to get a little weird.
It's very weird. It's extremely weird. So fortunately, BotBots is stopping short of being quite that bad. However, they do have chase ones that are gold now, which seems kind of neat. I don't know. It's just kind of doing what happens when you get to this point of a line like that, where you're just sort of doing kind of random stuff and just keep chugging along.
Yeah, I think there were pictures of like how the next few waves are going to come out. They're like changing the package, so more of them are blind packed, which didn't sound good.
Yeah, I mean,
at least for those people we know who are trying to collect all of them.
Yeah, that is going to be...
That's going to be inconvenient.
Extremely frustrating. And, I mean, bots are definitely, like, they're a fun thing. Like, I was at Target the other day picking up some other stuff, and I saw they had refilled them, so I look up a list real quick, and I find, oh, this one, is like the cupcake unicorn, and I hadn't gotten around to getting one that was the cupcake unicorn, so I'll grab this for $3. There were a decent number of dealers at TFCon who just had like little pencil boxes of loose bots for $3 to $5. So there is that option. I've also seen on people's Twitter listings. So that's an option if you're one of the spreadsheet people who is trying to go through and figure out how to get that, those last blind packed ones. It does seem like, we're not exactly doing schoolyard trading here, but it looks like there is at least a little bit of people selling off individuals now, so that's good. Also, more Cyberverse toys. We're getting Clobber. We're getting an Ultra Class Clobber.
Yes.
So Clobber is the one I very briefly mentioned before as basically just being like a female version of Lugnut from Animated, and not even a little bit complete with the same color scheme and the mono eye and the whole thing.
Yeah, the toy is even more ridiculously Lugnut than I thought, although it doesn't transform into a plane, it transforms into a tank, but the bot mode is 90% just Lugnut with lips and slightly different details.
Yes, it's great. I'm pretty excited.
It's great,
that she's getting a great big old toy. Actually, she does, at least, if you look up any news posting that's got the stock pictures, the Optimus Prime's legs don't seem to separate, and we're on that level of toy with these, with the kids' toy versus, older, 8 years old and up level of toys.
Yeah, the Optimus didn't look that great. Do those have auto transformation things? They just jump up or something? Because they look really simple.
It looks like
or at least the Prime did.
They're very simple, yeah. I'm looking at my favorite one, which we will get to in just a second, and it doesn't look like he auto transforms, but it looks like it's an extremely simplified transformation. So I guess that if anyone was concerned, because they have a 7-year-old who is into Cyberverse, and they wanted them to make sure they were continuing to make that level of toy, it does look like those are still available, which is good. I don't think these things should only be for kids, but it does look like Clobber at least has separating legs and some articulation.
They're really simple, but the problem with a lot of the regular classic, or Siege toys, some of them are annoyingly complex in spots, and I was just fiddling with a Brunt, and I had to get out a knife I have on my desk to open letters, to pry open a part of it to transform him.
Yeah,
because my fingernail wasn't long enough.
I've got
I keep them kind of long.
Pocket knife with a blade screwdriver blade I tend to use for that. That's a problem. And it's not great when, that's one thing if it's your higher end toys that they expect to be being used by someone who carries a pocket knife around. But yeah, that's kind of annoying for the mainline toys. There's a Shockwave. I felt a little...
Yes, the Shockwave is...
I felt a little subtweeted there about just posting a picture of, TF Wiki posted a picture that was just his upgraded angry head. I was I feel subtweeted here. But yeah, they've got these little clear plastic armor things that flip over, and his increases, the angry eye intensifies.
I kind of hate that he's just this simple spider tank that really has no articulation or detail, really. Or maybe one of them does, because there's 6 different versions of the same thing.
Yeah.
So many spider tank Shockwaves, but this one looks... I don't know if it's the best, but that angry eye is the best. I already have one of the versions, but I'm probably going to get that one just for the eye, because
it's even angrier now.
It's a great little weird detail.
It's even even angrier now. Yeah, there's a hot rod. I'm going to just continue holding out hope that proper warrior class line or whatever, or I guess just deluxe, the proper deluxe line has to be getting a hot rod, so I'll hold out for that. But it does the clobber does kind of look like she's more engineered in line with the main figure line and just scaled up because she big. She common.
Yeah, she's an ultra class.
Yes. So yeah, that was pretty exciting that there's a little bit more of that stuff, even though most of what was announced was the more kid-centric part of that line. So other little bits from here and there around the internet. We mentioned before, I think a couple months ago now, Viz is going to be putting out the Transformers manga, the G1 manga, in US stores, presumably translated into English, yes. because yes. But Volume 2 has gone up for pre-order on Amazon. Each volume is going to be $25 a piece. And those should start shipping. Currently, Volume 1 is listed to ship in February next year. It looks like Volume 2... Volume 2 is listed for May. So, those should be showing up next year, and then we can all learn about the small human child that Deathsaurus also adopted. In the manga... both of the leaders had a small human child. Actually, that's where Lyzak is from.
Yes.
So yes, also you get spoilers for the end of the Victory manga, which is, like 30 years old now, but you find out that the Destrons have this home world where they have, like, their wives and sisters and children, and they're, like, adorable little dinosaur creatures, and it's very cute, so I'm kind of looking forward to that. Other last little dregs of news, there is a new old watch transformer that no one knew about before someone was talking about it on YouTube, so that's kind of exciting. If you go to...
Yeah, it's weird to find, like, it's this weird, like, it's a side of a side toy. It's the watches, which we knew there were a bunch of them, but, like, to discover a toy that existed 30 years ago, now, accidentally, because someone found it and put it on a YouTube video, it's just so weird.
Yeah, this is like...
It's like... What else are we going to discover in the future? We thought we'd found everything.
This is like the stuff
everyone had been looking.
I'm used to finding in, like, 1994 we were making these sorts of discoveries. I'm not used to us making these kind of discoveries in 2019. We should know all of this already.
Yeah, finding an old toy catalog, like in the early days of the internet, or even 15, even 10 years ago, but, like, to still discover new Transformers that actually came out now is weird.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting. So that, I'm sure, follow the TF Wiki. If you're not following the TF Wiki on Transformers or on Twitter, what are you even doing here? So that's exciting. Also, one thing that came up something that came up since the last time we talked, but then is also updated now, is that apparently it came out that a player spent $150,000 on Transformers Earth Wars, the mobile game, which of course has lots and lots of microtransactions. However, apparently they weren't able to save the publisher because as of, like, this week, apparently Hasbro decided to shut down the publisher. They're saying the game is going to continue running, so presumably, servers are still up. Apparently they still have the studio still has a G.I. Joe game they're working on, but that particular game publisher got shut down after Hasbro bought them for millions of dollars last year. So I guess that dude should have spent more on microtransactions.
Yeah, that seems to be what happens when people buy small publishers. They produce a thing, and whether it works or not, they just close the company afterwards.
Yeah.
I do not understand game publishing anymore. This is a very weird business.
It's not great.
But yeah, holy crap, how do you spend that much? It's weird that we even got the numbers for this thing, because most companies do not put out their microtransaction levels and things, and how much people buy, how many whales they collect to get money from. But this is on a little cell phone game.
Yeah, they just dropped that mention at like a conference, and it's ridiculous. You know, I saw a post on Twitter that was a Steam review that perfectly summed up these gacha games, the ones where you get basically like the card equivalent of a gacha machine. It was basically the Steam review said like 600 something hours played. The review itself, the first line was like, "This is my favorite game ever," but then it also said not recommended.
Yeah.
that's
that's pretty much everyone I know who really plays gacha games and stuff. It's like
yes.
Yeah, it's like collecting things, pictures and stuff. Do not recommend.
Yeah, they're like, "This is amazing and I'm absolutely addicted to it. Do not do it."
But the best review I've ever seen is a GIF I found yesterday, or was it today, from Manga Pictures of a happy little girl, and then they roll, and it's a slot machine, and then she's very sad. That explains gacha. It's a slot machine that even if you win, you lose.
Yeah, it's something that
although admittedly, I have recently started playing Gundam Battle Online 2 on the PlayStation 4. Mm-hmm. And that's a gacha game, but I'm not spending money on it. I'm just doing some daily quest thingies, but it's a first-person shooter, so I'm not good at it. Plus, my internet I don't play that many online fighting games and shooting things, but I played like Team Fortress 2, and my connection was okay, and I thought I got pretty damn good. I got all the trophies for the first War of Cybertron game, so it was good enough for that, but man, it is so bad in this Gundam game. Half the matches I disconnect at the beginning, or I disconnect at the end before I get the results, so it doesn't count as a win.
Yeah,
or a loss, or anything.
That's not great.
It's weirdly horrible. I don't know why.
But
that's not Transformers related. Anyway,
I mean,
next.
It's robots. It's close enough. I declare it close enough for
robots,
a few seconds. So I guess as far as news goes at TFCon, so TFCon, now that we don't have like a Hasbro run convention where we have a lot of official news, what we get at TFCon
we do, but we don't have a Transformers specific one, and it's just. Actually, have we had an announcement of the next Hasbro Con thingy? Probably not.
HasCon? Or
know.
Just the next convention they're going to have a presence at? Because, I mean, they did have official stuff at this MCM London.
Yeah.
But they don't, announce all the stuff at BotCon, because there is no BotCon anymore. Yeah. They killed it. They murdered it. No. But we do get...
For good reason, anyway.
Yeah, we do get third-party news, though. So I was there. I went to their third-party panel. They had a couple of the sellers, a couple of the shops that had a presence there, had teamed up with some of the third-party manufacturers to do some exclusives. So there was a G2-inspired Mirage, which was actually the last one to sell out. Now, I don't know if people just actually wanted Senator Ratbat from IDW, or a bulkhead not made of,
yes.
Not based on any specific bulkhead, just like the essence of bulkhead more than they wanted that Mirage. I felt kind of bad for him.
What? Well, because the Mirage is bright and neon, and it's kind of neat, but it's more of a conversation piece than Senator Ratbat is cool, plus that mold is really neat. And having a G1 bulkhead is a thing a lot of people want.
Yeah, I can definitely see all that. I was tempted by the Senator Ratbat. I was kind of tempted by the Mirage, but as it turned out, I was picking up 2 Mirages for friends, and they were 1 per person, so that was 1 for me and 1 for the person who was kind enough to be standing in line with me while I was doing this. So it was what it was. My heart's not broken that I didn't get one, but that Rat-Bat does look pretty sweet. And Rat-Bat's an asshole. He's such an asshole. There were... The thing about anytime they have these big third-party upcoming toy things is you always get a couple things that are like, oh my god, that's amazing, and then you get 15 Bruticus's. And that was basically
there's too many combiners of any kind.
There was...
More of the weird side stuff, more of the, Decepticon Justice Division equivalent.
Well, weird side stuff, you say.
Has anyone made a third party rung?
Hasbro got to him first, and everyone keeps forgetting that Hasbro is putting one out because he's wrong, and you forget him.
I know we're getting a first party one, and he's a tiny, and I'm going to get him if I ever see him. But like, I'm kind of surprised. Like, I don't remember ever seeing a third-party rung.
No.
I've seen, like, custom rung heads to stick on other toys that you have to repaint.
Yeah, lots of those. Yeah.
I don't remember seeing a rung.
It's just, for some reason, and that's fine. I mean, I'll jump ahead then. I'll go away from my list here. One thing that there was actually a prototype of, did you see the pictures? And I posted these, plug my Twitter, Wrecker Gen. Mm-hmm. They had the unpainted prototype of a extremely more than meets the eye Chrome Dome. Yes,
I have not thought about getting a third-party toy in quite a while, but that looks really good.
It does look really good. It's, the funny thing is, he's about as tall. I have the Mastermind Creations co-captain set, as I call it. They were not sold together, but Rodimus and Megatron. And he looks like he is about the right height. He's about as tall as Rodimus, but he's only going to be about $80, which I think is slightly, like, maybe $5 or $10 less than Rodimus. And the thing is, he's super spindly because that's how Chrome Dome's design in that series was, especially, he's very spindly. He's got his little, like, hip.
He's chest and shoulders and wheels.
He's got his little hip cylinder things, and he's got the big wheels.
Yeah, those are weird. I'm kind of surprised they kept the little cylinders, because they're like little oil cans on his waist.
Yeah, I mean, it's an extremely loyal adaptation of the design. And I checked in on Twitter. I follow one of the, like, deco people for MMC. And I was like, he's getting the CD on his shoulders, right? And they were like, yes, he absolutely. I was like, one of the things that the designer was like, you have to put this detail needs to be there. So yeah, I mean, it didn't show if he's going to have, like, extra hands or anything, but I wouldn't be surprised. But yeah, that was really cool. And it sort of, I mean, we all are like, everybody's very sad that IDW just, like, completely jettisoned all that stuff and shifted gears. But I mean, here we are. What's our main complaint about the main Transformers line right now is it keeps being 1985. So there's no reason that certain third-party groups can't just continue being 2015, So that material is not going away. Those characters are not going away. So keep making that stuff. I will absolutely get that Chrome Dome. He's like my avatar character in that series. So that was exciting to see that we're still getting that sort of IDW based stuff, and everybody hasn't just derailed off into Bruticus. Speaking of wacky stuff, so Nonef, that's spelled Nonnef, they mostly do, like, add-on kits. There's a G2 Sideswipe kit for Siege that I plan on ordering as soon as that's back in stock. They are doing a deluxe scale steak bot inspired by the BotBot stuff. So a sort of a BotBot's commander.
Yeah, it's neat. It's so big. It'll stand out way too much with the BotBots.
That's because that's the commander.
It's neat, but
There's a really very nice looking, and actually, it's fairly small. It's only, there was a sample one in the display case, so it's only maybe like Marvel Legends size as a robot, but there is, Mohawk from The Last Knight, the motorcycle Decepticon with the Mohawk, which is pretty cool. I am sort of curious, like, what complications, like what legal complications you might be asking for trouble with once you start doing movie stuff, but I guess hasn't there been some third-party movie stuff so far that I haven't noticed because I don't care about movie toys?
Probably.
So.
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't see them really, or I don't know they're third-party. I just see, oh, it's a movie toy I don't have. Okay.
Right. So, I mean, it did look really nice, though. It looked like a really good little toy of that one dude from The Last Knight who probably died like 5 minutes after being introduced. There is, there continues to be a third-party company called Banana Force that is not premiering with an Optimus Primal. Let's see, there was the Iron Factory stuff was, there are a couple really interesting, just very Japanese inspired ones. They're doing a bludgeon that has a spider tank mode, your favorite. Spider tanks.
Well,
it's the new H-tank.
I think I'd rather a good spider tank than an H-tank. We had a shitload of H-tanks for a while.
Yeah.
Spider tank. Give me good articulated legs. Or at least rip off the spider tanks from Ghost in the Shell.
Maybe. That'd be kind of neat. So, both Mastermind Creations and Iron Factory are finishing out their DJDs. We didn't see, I haven't seen Iron Factory announcing a nickel or the pet yet. Mastermind Creations does have those coming out. Actually, those were available already.
Somebody made a nickel recently.
Yeah, Mastermind Creations.
I think I've seen some.
Mastermind Creations are the bigger ones, and then Iron Factory are the small scale ones. So yeah, those, and actually...
I want a nickel, but I don't really want a accurate to the comic one. I want like a Hasbro cheaper version. I want her smaller and more adorable, instead of having a shitload of like little detailed like keys and whatever on her waist. Whatever they were. She's so small and adorable. But yeah, actually, come to think of those were already on sale. And then I had to have a brief discussion with the people I was hanging out with over who those other two DJD guys are, the big ones. What are their names again? Oh, right. Now I've already forgotten. Helix and Tesserus. There's the guy with the blender in his belly, and then there's the guy with the X on his face. Or were those the same guy?
Yes. Helix, much like I have always remembered that Skywarp is the one who is not blue like the sky, Helix is the one who does not have the X on his face.
James Roberts.
So now you know. But yeah, both of those companies are going to be finishing out their DJDs, and they both look really good. It just depends on whether you have a shelf or like an entire entertainment center to be displaying them in. It's just a matter of how much space you have. Speaking of space, the big reveal, like the big mic drop, the big reveal at the end of the show, the one that I'm just not going to bother looking for an apartment because I'm just going to buy one and move into it, is a Fortress Maximus. It's going to be about 4 foot tall, basically. Think of it as the Cerebros is going to be Masterpiece car scaled.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I think it was 42 inches or something. I remember seeing a picture that it's as tall as 2 Cybertron Unicrons or Armada Unicrons. It's big.
I mean, all we had at this point was just the concept art, so nothing production yet, but it's ridiculous. So yeah, that's the upcoming third party stuff. It's pretty exciting. If you like the DJD, like I said, it's good to see that the IDW stuff, even though we're not getting more stories along those lines, it's not being like completely thrown out. Like you said, Rung is coming out. I think it was David Willis had tweeted that to let people know that Big Bad Toy Store had him and his Wavemate up on pre-order, and I went ahead and added them to my pre-orders, so I don't forget about him and then don't buy him.
Kind of forgot about that. I should do that. I forgot about that. Or I didn't see that. Yeah.
Because I also spent the entire convention, not the entire convention, because the dealer room was only so big, and after a certain point you give up, but there was a lot of stuff stuffed in there. But I was looking for Titan's Return Twin Twist, who is the tail ender of the Jump Starters, and no one had him. A couple people said they had them like 10 minutes before. So that is a very good lesson in ordering those tail enders, pre-ordering them from online stores. Don't wait around on tail enders, because there were like so many, there are still lots of G1 jump starters, and I was very tempted to just pick up a pair of G1 jump starters for $30 and just forget about the new ones.
No, the new ones are pretty damn good. I like them. Well, the new ones are also the G1 ones. They just don't jumpstart. They look a lot the same, but they have articulation. They're so good. They're good little boys.
I did find a place on Sunday. One of the dealers pulled out the Japanese version, except then I would have had to rebuy Topspin as the Japanese one, because the blue was different enough it would have bothered me, and that would have been $100 for the pair, and at that point, just why I'll wait for eBay or somebody's Twitter sales thread or something. So yeah, don't hold out on those tailenders. So thoughts from the dealer room, and this is just kind of thoughts on the Transformers collectible aftermarket as a whole. I think the biggest, most significant thing that I noticed as far as trends go is that it really felt for the longest time like Japanese G1 had just completely dried up, and it was out in force this time. I saw a Raiden gift set at one dealer had it, I believe 1,600. Fun fact, the Raiden gift set was the first Transformer to break 4 figures on eBay. Back in like the very, very late 90s, in like 98, 99, there was a Raiden gift set that went for over $1,000, and that was the first Transformers thing to break $1,000 on eBay. A trend, I actually saw a couple, at least one Black Zarek. I want to say some other table had one too. Which is a good way to spend a couple $1,000s on hurting yourself, because he is a very expensive toy with severe gold plastic syndrome.
Yeah, the Japanese one. Yeah, I forgot about him. He's a shatter boy.
Yeah. So that's something you maybe want to consider not spending that much money on. I saw there a couple places, actually, I had seen it in the dealer room, but then later I was coming back into the hotel from going out and getting lunch, and there's a Panera in the lobby, and I look over and there's just a guy sitting alone in the Panera with a G1 Star Saber on his table, and I'm like, I understand this person. That's an entire mood right there. Just a loose G1 Star Saber. There was a little bit of loose Japanese stuff, but there was a lot of box stuff, and I brought this up to, Headmaster Don from over at RFC, because I spent some time, hanging out with the RFC people this weekend, some people from Steel City Bots. It was a lot of fun, but his theory is basically just that a lot of the big deal collectors are dying off, and these are literally just like the collections of people who have passed away, which is definitely
that's part of the thing, or people are just selling their collections as they move on, or
stuff.
But yeah, we're getting to the age where some big collectors are probably just dying off, or collectors in Japan too.
Yeah. So yeah, but that is what it is. One of the, and this is an appropriate seg here, but one of the big exciting third-party things is that someone is doing a Minerva from Master Force, and it does look very, very cute. She even has the thing with her chest flipping down and doing the whole headmaster thing, and she's got the head.
The tech spec thing. Neat.
Yes. And she looks really good, which is good because I took a photo and posted it to my friends over in our not the podcast Discord, but a different Discord. And I had actually just been meaning to say, hey, look at how much you can spend on this Black Zarek if you want to cause yourself a great deal of anguish. But someone noticed that, and also looking at some pictures from big Transformers person Chris McFeely, who is currently on vacation in Japan, and posting pictures about that on his Twitter account. But Minerva, apparently G1 Minerva, someone, Transformer Land specifically, I know because their price stickers were branded, had a Minerva for $2,750
which is
at TFCon.
Ridiculous.
It's pretty bad.
I guess it makes sense because maybe that may not have been a great seller originally in Japan, and it was only in Japan, but it's it's about time to make a new one, Hasbro, please, or Takara.
Yeah, she always
other
had
than just the third party one. But
she always had a lot of. I mean, she was always like a sought after character because she was the girl. She was really the first toy that was sold as a girl one. And it wasn't until we got Transmetal Air Razor that we actually got a female figure that had been designed as a female figure. Because even the first Black Arachnia toy was just
a boy because Japan.
Yes. Yeah, well, Minerva was already Japan turning Nightbeat into a girl, so.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and that's the thing, is the toy is just a white Nightbeat. It's just a white Red Cross marked Nightbeat.
Yeah, with a different head, it's...
I don't think the head's even really different.
I think it is. I think the faceplate is different.
Uh-huh.
But
I don't know, but maybe
100% positive on that. But it's not a great. It's an okay toy. It's not a great toy. And
the picture.
We need a new one.
The photo from Chris McFeely has one marked at 400,000 yen, which the quickie base calculation would bring it to approximately $4,000. So that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money to get a white Nightbeat. So yeah, that's something that maybe while Hasbro's doing crazy Japanese stuff, maybe they might want to think about doing that. So yeah, I was surprised to see that out of the market. I felt like BotCon stuff could be had for a reasonable amount of money this time around. I know.
Not some of the ones I would have been interested in, or we would have been interested in. The Shattered Glass ones that are tied to Superhuman Samurai Cyber Squad Gridman.
Yes.
Those are still expensive, but other ones, yes, are reasonable.
I did send, I sent you that photo of the SG Megatron and Rodimus pair for $650. Yes. And you were like, no. I was also like, no.
I had to say no because it's no. That's too much. Even if I want it, it's too much. Which is the same reason I have not bought a Classics Cliff Jumper, because it would tempt me to get the rest of them.
No, you're going to get all of them. You're going to get all of them and like it.
I have Shattered Glass, Shockwave, and Ravage. That's good. Soundwave and Ravage. That's good. I have Soundwave and Ravage.
I spent a lot of the convention being very excited about Gridman and having people be like, what is this thing you keep going on about? And me being like, it's Transformers, basically. And seeing one person at the convention with a Gridman t-shirt and stopping my conversation with Jack Lawrence so I could attack him. So
Oh, I should get a Gridman shirt. That's something. That's something to spend better money on. I need Gridman stuff.
But yeah, convention stuff. I personally, I had Mega Xeric was one of the ones from OTFCC that I had sold during my big collection purge, and I ended up repurchasing one that was not only extremely sealed, it was more sealed than it had ever come from the convention as, because it was also shrink wrapped, but on top of that, also the bubble itself was taped up, which was, the box itself was never sealed, and I know because I was with 3H when we were boxing those, but the bubble came taped shut, and that one still had the bubble tape shut, and that was $100.
Oh, that was good, because that convention Megazork is like one of the most beautiful Transformers that's ever been produced. The colors on that are just perfect.
Yeah, I had been looking at it, and I had been thinking about it, and then I went to Aaron Archer's panel, where Aaron Archer was talking about all his design stuff. I was like, no, I need that toy. Because I feel like Armada Megatron as a toy is like the laser prime of its generation. It's like the pinnacle of engineering of that era of the series. And that is the most absolutely beautiful one. And actually, I mentioned that to Aaron later, and he said he had Mega Xeric on his shelf for a long time. Because it's just such a pretty, it's that great engineered toy, and then on top of that, it's like the most beautiful deco you could possibly put on that toy. So that was convention stuff. In general was a little better, but there were some pieces that were still pretty pricey. There was, I feel like there were a lot of sellers out there who really bought way too much of the last 3 or 4 years worth of toys, and they don't understand that they need to discount that stuff now. When every table has 4 Titans Return Rodimuses, maybe you should not be asking $30 for them. Maybe you're not going to get $30 for them. So there was a lot of Wave 1, Wave 2 Titans Return stuff, and then there were I felt like it was almost the return of bins that had actual G1 stuff in it. I just reached down talking to someone at one point and just pull out a Junker G1 Scorponok. And it seemed like there's a good return to that sort of stuff. So it was, I feel like the market is pretty healthy right now. I don't feel like there's anything that is going to be absolutely impossible to get. Stuff is still, I ended up paying $25 for a loose Alpha Bravo, which seems a little crazy because he's the sad unwanted aerial bot. Well, people wanted 50 for him carded.
Jeez, no. Yeah, I think that might be an eBay problem, that people are trying and sometimes get more than these toys should be worth.
Yeah, I mean, that's always kind of been a thing, and I'm sure that's part of the problem with Twin Twist.
I guess, but $25 loose for a toy that wasn't even that much. Especially since there were lots of him. No, it's not like he was
and
rare.
It's not that old. But that
and was... especially since after the other ones came out, people are getting rid of him. He should be 15 or less. But if he's the one little aerial bot you're missing, it's okay. It's just
it was fine. I could afford it, and it's nice seller who's been around for a while. At one point, John Runsky, who is a guy who has been selling at BotCon since the earliest days and also lives in the DC metro area. So I, back in my early 20s, I would just run into him when I was out toy hunting. And at one point I was standing near the edge of the table talking to some friends, and he just needed to come around, and he was like, "Excuse me, Jen." And the person I was talking to was like, "Are you just on a first name basis with literally everyone here?" It's kind of. But yeah, it was a good show. there's a lot of good stuff to be had. Some good deals. I ended up getting my Masterpiece Starsaber for $165. I got a Road Rage. She was not sealed, but she was basically collector owned. She was being sold by someone who was just cleaning out his collection. I got her for $25. Which is crazy cheap. I haven't gotten to transforming her, but she's in very good shape. And I asked the guy, I was like, what's the catch? And he said basically the knockoff market has hit her value and the value of a lot of Masterpiece stuff really hard. You've got a lot of people who would just rather buy the knockoff than pay full price for the Masterpiece stuff. So there were some pretty good deals to be had on, Takara Masterpiece stuff. So that's also a market trend there, is that the Masterpiece car stuff is maybe not going as much as it could be because of the knockoff market. People don't support knockoffs like that. That's the not cool kind of third party stuff. That's not good.
I would guess part of the problem is that you do not know it's a third party until you get the thing in your hands. Because there's a similar thing of like Figmas and Nendoroids sometimes. If you're searching for older ones, you might end up with third party versions. Or at least if you're getting like Hatsune Miku and things, more popular stuff.
At one point I was looking at getting Lucina from Fire Emblem, and I realized that there sure were an awful lot of those on eBay for really good prices from China.
Yeah.
And I was like, nope. So yeah, that's...
Yeah, China seller is usually the number one giveaway, but that's not always true.
Yeah, so try to buy this stuff from reputable dealers. That's really the best way to go. Try not to support that kind of knockoffs. You, in this case, are hurting your, fellow collectors, not just Takara. So yeah, that was sort of the market trends at the show. I guess the closest thing I picked up from news, this wasn't something that was like, maybe this has been announced already, but he wasn't like, oh, don't tell anybody, but when I was talking to Jack Lawrence, artist from Lost Light, basically just telling how much it meant to me, that we had a gay artist, an openly gay artist, working on the series that had basically normalized gayness in Transformers. And I said, I hope
God. Have you...
You didn't know? Are you just talking about his art?
So many pictures of art he drew, that other people drew, just commissioned the art of, gay Transformers. It was so happy.
Yes.
It was all over my Twitter for a couple days.
He does after every convention he's at, everybody's posting their commissions from him, and they're all just so heartfelt and just, I think James Roberts, posted a comment calling it the Jack Lawrence gaze, as in Gaze. Just the way the characters are just looking at each other. And I said I hope that he was going to be working on some stuff in the future. I know Alex Milne is lined up for some Galaxy stuff, and he said he should have something coming out in February with Transformers. So good to know that, he's... again, as I've said before, as a writer, it always kind of breaks my heart when I see all the artists coming back and all the writers getting kind of pushed off the table. But still, I am happy to see some of those artists coming back and doing some work. So yeah, I had a lot of fun.
Yeah. Yay.
That's good.
And you told people about our podcast, so yay. Hello, new listeners, presumably.
I told so many people about our podcast, and so I do intend over the course of this week to be spending some time tweaking the website and getting it all up to date and looking a little more presentable.
We should do a few more things. We never actually put bios on the website yet. We talked about that months ago. That'll happen eventually.
There's one part that always comes up that I kind of feel like might just be best served with a wiki link, a link to the wiki page in question. But yeah, that's...
Yeah.
It was good. I plugged you would be so proud of how much I plugged the podcast and told people, oh, something would come up and I'd be like, oh, when we talked about that on our show, it was this and that.
Yeah, because I mentioned that like in a couple things, like, are you plugging the podcast? Because you didn't tell me, oh, there's going to be a podcast panel and you're going to be at it. I was like,
yes.
Oh, okay, I guess that covers things.
But
I didn't find that out until like Sunday. It's like, oh, okay. Good.
Yes, yeah. Eric Cronover, Eric Crowbar on Twitter, whose Twitter profile is all about Bisque. He's one of the younger members of the fandom, and he put together a podcast roundtable at the beginning and the end of the convention. That was basically, we mentioned what podcasts we worked on, but also it was just having a conversation about the show as we would if we were recording a podcast episode about it. So that was really good. It was, me and him and someone else from Steel City Bots and then a couple RFC people, like I mentioned, hanging out with Headmaster Don a bit. Brian Kilby wasn't actually on the panel, but he was in the audience, and he was around. A lot of Diecast, I think, showed up for the Sunday. Diecast was on the Sunday panel. And Melvar was there too, all RFC people. So yeah, we need to have more presence. You need to come to the next one. Let's go to Orlando. Let's buy Rob a ticket to Orlando.
Oh Lord. It's kind of hot, but yeah, I kind of do like the convention. I did go to the BotCon down there. I'll come to a convention at some point.
Yes.
There's always Canada. There's a convention in Canada.
It was very excited. Maybe TFCon Toronto. Maybe we just need to go crash on Rob's floor and go to TFCon Toronto.
I think you did go to the last one.
No. Yeah, I think so. Didn't represent the way I did though, but it was. No. It was very exciting. I plug the podcast a lot. If you're just listening to this, I'm specifically trying not to drop too many names without specific instances because I don't want to leave anybody out. So if I saw you at the convention and you're listening, thank you so much for coming on here, following me on Twitter, listening to the podcast. I hope you're enjoying it. I hope you keep listening and I hope you keep liking what you hear. So that's it. I'm going to call it a wrap for the week. We will talk about comics in a later episode because we have already gone on for longer than we ever intend to, which is literally every single episode.
Pretty much, yeah. Well, it would sidetracked in the convention stuff. It's easier to get sidetracked this time. But yeah, we'll talk about comics at some point, maybe next week. We have a few to talk about, I think. Oh no, the regular comic is monthly now, so we don't have to talk about issue 14 yet. We just have to talk about 12 and 13 next time.
Yep, I think just 13. 12 was the Nautica one.
Oh, right, yeah, that was better. 13 has Alex Milne art. I was so happy. I was reading it slower because I was stopping reading and just looking at all the background characters. It's like, oh, that one's cute. Ooh, that's a good fan character.
I was
hey, the Decepticon Justice Division are in this comic.
I was thinking, oh, is that Alex Milne Bumblebee? And then I was like, that is extremely Alex Milne Ratchet. It's Siege Ratchet, but it's Alex Milne Ratchet. The body is Siege, but the head is 100% more than meets the eye Ratchet. And I like that. Speaking of Siege Ratchet, definitely hoping to find him soon. That was like the big thing. Every convention, there's like some toy everyone is looking for on the way. And this year it was Siege Ratchet. So looking forward to getting that toy.
Isn't it like a Walgreens exclusive or something?
It literally is, yes.
So weird. Oh, that's annoying because I don't know where the hell there's a Walgreens around
He's
here.
the doctor. He's the
doctor.
Yes,
but I'm never going to see him. I'll have to get him secondhand.
I can probably get one for you, so consider that a hookup because I'm pretty sure my Walgreens still has like the exclusive from last year. They might have had a Brainstorm back there somewhere.
Already was the Brainstorm was their exclusive. Yeah.
Yes, they tend to hang around for a while, so I'm sure we can get you.
Yeah, no, there. I think we only have CVS's around here. I don't know where the fuck there's a Walgreens.
Yeah, well, we have enough Walgreens. I'll hook you up with one. And I'm not going to call that an open invitation to anybody listening because You know, that would be a lot of ratchets.
Yes.
All right, so that's it for this week. To everyone I met at TFCon, I love every single one of you except for that one guy who is not going to be listening anyway, so screw that guy. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Iacon Underground Radio is hosted by iaconunderground.net. We are listener-supported through Patreon, where you can help us cover the cost of running this show and our other podcast, Stasis Pod, at patreon.com/iaconunderground. We are on Twitter at IaconUG, Tumblr at iaconunderground.tumblr.com, and Facebook at facebook.com/IaconUnderground.